Car guys and car gals, good morning. This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
This is Fredlin Arts, the subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast.
Yes, we are.
So excited to start off this entirely new adventure of brewing solutions that we are on. And we are focusing on the fun in the follow-up.
You know what's up.
Woo!
We didn't even plan that. It just happened. I just know what he was going to say.
That's how we do things. But car guys, car gals, do us a quick favor because we have a car guy especial, right? A very special brew master that's inside of the cafe with us today, coming back and encouraging you all to do your follow-ups. Also, we are having somebody that we brewed solutions with while we were making new connections and the solutionaries were rising.
Right.
1 year ago.
That's it, man. He was one of our very first interviews. Matter of fact, he was one of the very first re-interviews because we had lost all the data. Yep. So I can always appreciate a man like this because he was so gracious with it.
Most interviewed guy so far.
He is our most interviewed guy so far. You know, what I could also say is that he's also one of the nicest guys you guys could ever meet. I don't think there's a person that's in our network that's not connected, that is connected with Russ, that does not love this guy. I mean, he's somebody that brings heart. He also loves to help other people grow. He's looking for the next best thing. He has tons of value to bring to this business. He's been doing it for decades now. He's a family man. He loves his family. He also loves this business. So that's why he's doing what he's doing. So, man, I'm excited. This is the follow-up, man. This is the follow-up. We've been wanting to do these. We're getting ready to start the series. We've been talking about it. Now we're going to be about it. So let's make this thing rock.
So do us a favor.
Share.
Tag a car guy.
Do it.
Tag a car guy.
Don't be scared.
Invite your friends. You know what? Invite your enemies. I don't care. If you have connection to them, let them know that we are brewing solutions in the Car Guy Coffee podcast. Go ahead and give them a coffee cup emoji and let's get excited to be brewing solutions with the best. We have Russ Mann coming back inside of the cafe shortly, and we are excited to find out what is going on with him. But again, tag a car guy, tag a car gal. Enjoy this from one of our sponsors who we are so excited to connect with. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and throw that video out there about what's going down inside of Digital Dealer.
I thought he was going to say what's going down in Chinatown.
I almost did. I stopped doing that during COVID. I used to say what's going down in Chinatown all the time.
Oh, yeah, he did. That's why I thought he was going to say it.
Yeah, and then after COVID, I stopped saying it so much. I'm like, China.
I mean, it's from Wuhan, China. It's not Chinatown. Chinatown's in the United States.
What's going down in Chinatown, right? I know. I got a Chinatown. I like Chinatowns. Delicious.
I do too.
Delicious. And you always find deals on just
everything.
Whatever you're looking for.
You need some Schnikes?
Yeah.
They're there.
Get you some of that. Heck yeah. But we'll be right back. And we can't wait to see you at Digital Dealer 2021.
2021.
2021.
I know what he's going with it.
All right. See ya. Check this out. Ooh, it's gonna be fire. So much fun down there with all of these solutionaries. But solutionaries are everywhere, and we are looking to certify solutionaries that are trying to get certified themselves, which basically just means you always find a problem, or when a problem finds you, you brew a solution.
That's right. That's what we do. We're solutionaries here. We're certified solutionaries, Lou and I, and we want to pass this on to other people. Keep this puck moving forward, right? Because in order to be a solutionary, it takes a mindset. It takes a way of life. I love it. I love the logo, guys. If you guys see it right there, so dope. Car Guy Coffee.
Get yourself.
That's right. Let's brew. So, you know, we definitely are excited about bringing out this program for all y'all out there. I know that there's a lot of you that are just trying to figure out, why am I doing the good things, but it's not quite working yet? Well, there's probably just a few process changes that need to be made. There's probably just a couple things that could be implemented to help you grow to just exponential amounts that you can never imagine, right? That's what we want to do, and that's what the Certified Solutionaries is about. It's also a place for us to mastermind and get together. When you amplify, and I talk about this a lot, when you amplify a frequency, when everybody's on that same wavelength, but it's one person, you got this frequency, it's pretty strong, you could feel it. But when you get two, it starts to get stronger. When you get a group of people and that frequency is all going, it literally will knock down a wall. It will knock mountains out the way. It will do everything that you need. It will spread the sea. I'm telling you, that's what frequencies will do. They're strong. They're out there. They're everywhere. It's energy. And that energy is amplified when tons of people are doing it. And when you know what you're doing is correct. Because that's the thing. A lot of us, we get there, we're starting to do stuff, and we're like, am I doing it the right way? Am I doing it right? Because sometimes you don't see instant results. Matter of fact, most of the time, you don't see instant results. Results happen through work. Faith without work is dead. So you have to make sure that you have faith, but you put the work in. And when you put that work in, you're going to go through that dark tunnel, but you'll see that light. You just keep working. All of a sudden that light gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you're outside of that tunnel and you are now enjoying the world and you have all that you need. You're certified. Certified Solutionary. So anyway, enough about the Certified Solutionaries. We're going to be talking about that tons. It's going to be all over the place soon. We'll get through that soon. But man, today's show is a special show
about the one, the only
Russ Mann.
You know what's Welcome back to the cafe, my brother. We are so excited that we have you here with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There he is. Yep.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. It is serious morning where you're at. Is the sun even come up yet?
Just now.
Just now. That's what I'm talking about. And it smelled and it's looked like Car Guy coffee, smelling like it makes sense.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
excited. Man, that is a good looking mug you got there. And
that
I'm not just talking about the cup.
Oh, the cup looks good too. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
So, man, Russ has made some changes in his life over the last year. We did an interview with him last year. He was at a different place. He is at somewhere now. He's at a better place. He's lifted up. He's excited. He's got some new things that he's going to share with us today. That's why I had to have Russ on the show. Russ has been out there doing his thing. Russ was quiet for a little bit. We didn't hear from Russ on social media for a little bit, and then he showed back up, and I'm so glad to have him back.
Where'd you go?
There he is. And Russ was just working on his master plan, and he's got a master plan for us, and he's getting ready to share it. We got some people out here throwing some love. You got Jay Woolrich. He's like, hey, car guys, car gals, grab your favorite brew. Let's get this thing going. You got one of my best mentors, Matt Damos, saying, yo, what's up, Matt? Facebook user, not sure, morning all, but whoever it is, love you.
I know Facebook
love you. And then, of course, Terry Torline. He says, my man with two N's, of course, right? Great to see you. I love some Terry Torline. He's the smooth.
I tell you what, man, that guy, he has helped me in the last 5 months really gain my confidence in this space and to really educate me in a lot of different things. And has been very supportive of me. I'm grateful to Terry for sure.
Man, I think a lot of people are grateful for Terry. Terry's a great person. We love the guy. He's a friend of ours. Matter of fact, he's helped us start our Certified Solutionaries. He's somebody that I'm looking forward to doing a lot of business with and growing with. He's just, I don't know, he's special. Just like you, Russ. When we first met you, I connected with you very easily. It was just something about you, your energy and what you're trying to do made it easy to connect with you. Terry's the same way, man. And you know the deal. You know why.
Yep, absolutely.
Man, mad love out there.
Well, tell us a little bit, because he is making sure to pump you up with the positivity that there is in understanding the worth that is Russ Mann, which is something that we love. That's why we put you inside of this cafe more than most, right? We are so excited that we've had the opportunity to brew with you, and that you're always so gracious. You're always so flexible and willing to shift in order to not just get your message out there, but to have just a good conversation that's actually constructive. And when you're with somebody like Terry, who is great about building you up, plus he does it so smooth. He lays a layer of smoothness that makes you feel special, and like you can, pretty much do anything. It's a good father sound that you want, that encourages you. And there's so many people that we get that from inside of our lives, but actually when you really count it down, there's so few of those people that are able to actually pour something in that raises you up. But now that you are being risen up and jumping to this new level and continuing to keep growing, my brother, let's join together like we did the last time that we were together.
You know,
let's get ready to forgive, focus, fly before we announce all the big things going on with you and we get this follow-up underway, brother. You already know this. You are proficient at the keep growing.
He knows how to do this.
So on three.
I've been practicing.
You have? That's good. It's a daily thing, right? It's a habit. We want to make this a habit just like your coffee habit. What? Everybody getting the correlations? All right, here we go. On three, everybody. Let's get this rocking. Forgive, focus, fly. 1, 2, 3. Forgive. Yeah. Focus. Fly. And keep growing. Keep growing. Yes. Keep growing. Right. Yep. So listen, when we get out to Digital Dealer or we're at whatever event that we're at and you have the entire room together going in unison.
And we're going to have 100 people just going, forgive, focus, fly.
It's going to be
it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time.
And if anybody in the world doubts that, they are watching the wrong show.
That is correct.
Don't let me have control of a room of people. It's going to be bananas. So we're excited. Folks, be ready for that. But man, I'm ready to do this follow-up with my man, Russ. Dude, seriously, we appreciate you. We appreciate all the support that you've given us over the last year, man. You've done nothing but be supportive of what we do in our message. And I've seen you grow. I've seen you do so many different things. Even when you were still with the last company you were with and you were out there promoting that and you're doing what you're supposed to do, you were growing, man. You were doing some amazing stuff. Like you talked about, we were the first show that you were where you were videoed, right? And we've seen you do multitudes of that. And then you've done those masterminds, you've done the fixed ops. Dude, you're doing some stuff, man. I know that there's a lot of people out there that love what you do, what your message is, and how much passion you bring. But mostly, man, they appreciate you, how you treat them. Because whatever product that you have, it's Russ Mann product. Period. It's whatever, because that's how you treat things. When you're out there and you're out there trying to help people, you're helping them with you. If your product's involved, great, but you're out there helping them. You are helping them. So thank you, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that very much. It's been almost a year. I tried to find the exact day we did the first taping that accidentally somehow disappeared, and then had to do the second one. That was actually better for me. I think that second show turned out so much better too. But
because you got a good practice in the first one.
Yeah, I got the practice. I knew
that on purpose,
a little bit better, right?
Exactly. Yes. I mean, you got to use all things.
But you also helped me to forgive, focus, fly. You know, sometimes you lose something and it felt crushing when it happened. I remember we looked and we couldn't find it.
We both looked at each other like,
what happened? Where's the data at? The data's gone. Oh my God. Right. And that's the thing. We can lose data like that. But you were so gracious. When I called you and explained, you're like, yeah, man, let's do it. Boom. Without a question, you did it, you know, and that was our early stages of doing video interviews for us too, us getting used to that. Was before we did them live. I mean, we weren't far off. I think it was within a month after that, we started going live on all shows and just using the recordings and re-editing them and putting it back out as podcasts and shows later also. So you kind of get like double dipping in it. But man, this is live right now, folks. Y'all out there loving this. We love it. Right. Russ is out here. You can see Russ is a natural now at this. This ain't no thing for him.
If you drop a cup of coffee with it, that's it. You don't need a coffee no more today. You go get you another cup of coffee, right? And that's what we did. We went ahead and we brewed a solution. We got it going. But now we are on the follow-up. Yes, and we are talking about an entirely new brand, same incredible person with a fresh new brand. And he is newly packaged up like a cereal box. It's awesome. Check him out. Check that out.
Isn't that nice?
Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your new company, Russ Mann?
Oh yeah, when I left the old space, I took some time and really tried to understand exactly what it is that I was trying to accomplish for myself.
Yes.
And what I could really accomplish for others. You know, my big gig and my why is, you know, helping other people succeed. And I'd always done that for everyone else. My entire career, I started special finance departments from scratch. I started lenders from scratch, zero contracts, zero everything. And my wife said, and frankly, Terry and some of the other people I'm close with said, Russ, why aren't you doing this for yourself? And at 53 years old, that was a powerful thing for me, you know. So I'm like, holy hell, I could do this. I can do this. So it took some confidence building in December with some support from my wife. We started the company called Azurite Concepts, and Azurite Concepts is essentially a dealership agency, but we create profitable programs. Yeah, it's flashing. We create profitable programs for dealers that are customer experience oriented. We want to build dealerships up to have a better customer experience. And you can do that with products and processes. And so that's what the whole mantra of the space was, is to find products that were different, find products that were unique. You know, everybody has a VSC, a digital solution, an advertising, but things that were different and unique, like Think Ad Group, like Defense GPS, like AC360, which now is an Apex brand. You know, they are completely unique. And then in the independent world, there's no agencies in the independent world. There are agents, but big agencies in the independent world and car dealerships is pretty non-existent. So I felt like that was also a space. So two-pronged approach, be the face of a brand again, which I have an excellent opportunity with Defense, and then building my own brand and really helping dealerships build a better customer experience. So I am super excited, because some of the things that are coming down the pipe are big. They're patented. They're one of a kind, only things in the world. And now I've got a few agents on board. We have one in Florida. We have one here in Arizona. We have another one in Las Vegas that are starting to go out and actually preach that brand and preach that direct concepts and really start to grow. And I was flattered, frankly, when people approached me about it. And was like, well, yeah, we want to be a part. And I think that's really the piece that, and Dave Foy from the Fixed Ops Mastermind, he told me a long time ago, he says, Russ, you don't realize the impact that you have on people. And that was true.
100%.
I'm really starting to realize that now.
I'm glad that you realized that, because you impacted us the moment we met you. Your reason why I invited you to the show was because of the way you portrayed yourself and your perception of you, right? And what that perception became real when I interviewed you. And I was like, man, this guy's real. You know, person. I see a lot of people out there that are this or that, but when you get to finally meet them, and then it's not just the meeting, it's what they do after the meeting and how they act and how in what's going on. You've always been there, you know, and I appreciate that. I appreciate how you are. When you talk about you're always trying to solve problems. So yes, you're a solutionary, man. And that's why we love you. Being a solutionary is a big deal for us, people who are not percolating problems, but brewing solutions, you know, and you do that like so good. When you talk about value and you talk about other people who've helped lift you up, we need that, man. That's the whole point behind everything we do in life. You know, we all need encouragement. Sometimes it's just somebody saying, you can do it. Why are you not doing it? And then you have to sit there and go, just like you said, why am I not doing it? 53 years old. I've been doing everything I've been helping. Basically, what we've all been doing is we've been helping other people reach their goals. We've been helping everybody, and which is great. Right. What about our goals? What goals do you have, and what are you trying to achieve in life? Right. And, you know, as we get older, you know, I understand where you're coming from. You want to leave that legacy. Well, you've left a legacy, but now it's time to leave that huge legacy, and you're going to be able to do that. When people think of Russ Mann, man, they really do. They think of the man, Russ. Right. And it's seriously like, because you're that person, and people really gravitate towards that. So you are impacting people beyond what you can imagine. When you actually put work towards impact, you're going to see it's even bigger. And you're starting to see that already. I know it. Congratulations to getting all these agents on the floor, different parts of the country. Way to go, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that grow. I'm looking forward to the second follow-up in another year when we can sit down and talk about how far that has come for you too. And I love that you got your wife involved with this. It's how great is that? I mean, to be able to sit there with your life partner, the person that's your best friend, the person that has your back no matter what, till death do us part. All that stuff is there for your business side too. And you're doing, and how cool. You get to spend time together. You get to, you know, same time off. It's, hey, we're off at this time. We're both off at this time. We're going to go on vacation. You know, I need a week's vacation. We're both going to take a week's vacation. We'll go do it together. Right. So,
you know what the best thing about my wife is though, is she holds me accountable.
Yes.
Right. And she does it in ways that are, and she knows me. She knows that I'm not, you know, old school Saturday morning, you know, sales meeting in a car dealership. Right. You know, what are you doing? You know, ranting and raving. She'll just ask me, so what are you doing today? Are you going to sell something today? Right. And it's so powerful in the way that and it just comes out of the blue too. She's like, so where are you going today? Oh, I plan on staying. I need some contracts. I got to read some contracts. So you're not going to go out and sell anything? Well, Yeah. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I was.
Yes, I'm
now.
gonna.
I will more.
100%. I'm gonna do it now. I won't forget. I promise.
That's what I needed, babe.
Thanks, babe. Yeah, appreciate it. Want to talk about accountability? You know, I love that you brought that word up, folks. Write that down if you guys don't understand it. Accountability. We all have accountability, and the only way that we truly grow is with accountability. Whether you think you need it or not, man, there's something about having that chip on your shoulder, that's that thing on your shoulder that says, hey, what are you doing? That's why my favorite question is the why. You know, you mentioned your why is that you love to help other people and you like to do these things, right? And that's another purpose, you know, accountability. There's so many ways to be accountable, writing things down, but having a partner such as your wife is a huge accountability factor. I know it does it for me, not just in business, but in my personal life. Accountability. I'm always having to do what I say, deliver what I promise, you know, and my wife is the ultimate accountability queen, right? And I appreciate her for that. Lou is my other side.
Yeah, she does a great job on the other side of it too, of making me step away, right?
Yes,
right.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's in the car business. It's very difficult, right? So traditionally, I grew up in a world where my dad went out and worked. I mean, the guy was gone 12 hours a day, all the time, working all the time, right? Trying to provide for his family. So that's all I knew. That's all I grew up with. So that's all. When I was younger, that's all I knew. In the car business, work bell to bell, 6 days a week. You know, we were closed on Sundays, but if you weren't trying to sell a car every single day, then you weren't working, right? And I have regrets about that. There's no doubt. So she does a great job on the other spectrum of understanding that you have to step away from it a lot of times and just, you know, Russ, it's 6 o'clock, you know, dinner's ready, or, you know, whatever, if she's made a meal. But yeah, it's definitely a balance to that whole piece too.
And the thing that a woman often is able to do, it's balance in a way that us guys have a hard time really knowing how to juggle. I mean, they do it with such grace, but women get so much done and they keep it in their routine. Somehow or another, everything still stays according to task. And it's always either us or something else that's slowing that part down. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they'll make sure to mother you and then encourage you to get out there and go work, babe. Go go do what it is that needs to be done. But hey, it's time for dinner. It's time for you to be present, right? And bring both sides of that. And that's something that of course we get to submit to. The old school car guy would be like, you know, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna do this, and I just expect certain things to be accomplished at the home. Well, that we all know that marriage model doesn't work, let alone does it build success inside of the car business. You've found the opportunity to shift that from car business to being a vendor to now creating your own brand and your own vision, and now your own company that is building that up based off of what you at the nucleus have. And that's agreement between the two most important parties, and that's you at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a salesperson sitting at home having a healthy marriage produces way better than the person that is avoiding even going home, you know what I mean, after the day is done, trying to find reasons to still stay out and not producing something at home. There's this encouragement that leaders have been I've been seeing them do. It's that they're turning it to saying, hey, go home, hey, go take care of your mental health, hey, go take care of your finances, right? We're shifting things from it all being centered around doing the business to making the business be more about building the people. And as that's becoming, you're starting to see that when people are reaching back out to you and they're saying, hey, I'm down with what you're doing. I want to encourage what you're doing. We're especially inside of our world in the car business, there's so much that's always been competitive. Where now we're being encouraged, you know, we're going to build. If we were to look at it side by side, just hearing it all out, you know, we would be almost considered in competing markets, right? As we start to build agencies up. But we're here to build up. I know that I wanted to see Fred sell as many cars as possible while I was in the office with him, right? We shared offices. I want to see him sell as much as possible. He wanted to see me sell as much as possible.
I just wanted to sell one more than him. That was it. That's it. But anyway, just joking, but for real.
Just kidding, but not really.
We're competitors. I mean, whether we're best friends, we're business partners, but when it comes down to the sales floor, I'm still going to want to beat him. I mean, that's just what goes down. But I'm very proud when he does well. And if he beats me, I wouldn't be that mad. Just a little bit butthurt. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I still crushed it because he pushed me. You know, and it's both ways. Butthurt. Yeah. But, you know, but he would push me. He was moving a unit. I had to find me somebody to sell, right? And like I didn't want to be too far behind. But he would never tell me, oh, you suck, or he would never stop me from catching it up, right? He might trip me. He might trip me when there's a phone call coming in. He might trip me to get to the phone, but he definitely would not stop me from purchasing or selling a vehicle. Matter of fact, he might help me go take a turn on it or something like that, right? So that's what it's about. And that's what the growth is about. It's about encouraging other people. It's about, even though they're your direct competitor, which in a sense, Russ, in a way, you're going to be our direct competitor in a way, right? But at the same time, what I want to do is I want to sit down and I want to work with you, and we need to figure out how we can navigate through this thing together. There's how many dealerships in this country, and how many need help? All of them. So there's plenty of room for all of us, as long as you're doing the right thing, because there's plenty of people who are doing it that don't know what they're doing. There's plenty of people out there that are doing it that are not bringing value to a dealership. They're just doing it for the dollars. They're not doing it for the people, right? People over profits every single time. And that's the key, man. And I know that's what you're about. I know you want to make money, but at the same time, you want to bring results to people. You want to help people. That's why you're doing what you're doing. You're trying to give them something of value, not something that brings you cash, something that helps them grow, something that makes their life easier. So yeah.
So what he said,
all those things, ditto. Right. So as we're flowing with that, and we're making sure that we have this process of understanding the growth of a business, we're talking about follow-up. We are talking about the importance of follow-up. You as a vendor, as a business owner, as a person that is trying to build relationships on a consistent basis, you know, you can't just have one talk. You know, you can't just put one message out there. You know, you can't just do one video, right? There, you can't just make that one phone call. There has to be consistent follow-up. What encouragement or what words would you say on the side of being an independent contractor, business owner? Would you encourage, or what tools would you use for better follow-up?
You know what? For me, the follow-up really involves understanding that you bring value, right? So whether you're a person, whether you're a vendor, whether you're a dealer to a customer, a salesperson to a customer, a dealer principal to a GM, to someone is your customer everywhere in your life. You have to understand that you bring value in that space. So as a vendor, as a car salesperson, as a sales manager, and all those things, my main goal to follow up was to hold them accountable. So the biggest challenge with follow up in general is that the salesperson that's following up doesn't think that they bring value, right? And if you don't think that you bring value, follow up becomes very difficult. It becomes a chore, right? Oh, this guy's going to yell at me. Oh, I know he told me to call him back at 9 o'clock today, but it's 8:57. So should I call him now, or should I call him at 9:01, or what's that? Right? They'll overthink it. Don't overthink the follow up. Just follow up. Because when you start overthinking it, right, it just it messes with your mind. So then it turns into then you don't want to make the cold call, right? Then you don't want to call the customer that's called you and left you a voicemail with a challenge, right? They're upset with something or they want something. But if you let those people hold you accountable for your own value, then follow up becomes easier. I have the ability to help you sell more cars. I have the ability to put you in this Lexus that is going to help you and your family. As a special finance person, this was a big deal to me because I had the ability to help people who were struggling better their own lives, right? I mean, it's a powerful thing when you have someone that comes forward and says, after you've sold them a car when no one else would help them, they come back to you and say, you know what, no one else would help me. I am so grateful because now I can get to work on a regular basis. I don't have to worry about getting up in the morning, getting my kids to school. I can do the things that I need to do to better my own life. And that's what follow-up is about, is bringing value to other people. Whether they think you have that value or not, you do.
Right.
And to me, that's a powerful thing. And that's where I think follow-up becomes a challenge because we overthink it.
It keeps you centered.
I love it.
I mean, it definitely keeps you into a spot where you're understanding whether or not a person sees my value, I have value.
Right.
Whether or not I understand that person's need for my value, I have value. And you have a certainty inside of your value. That's the thing that stops people from moving forward, is their fear and their certainty of whether this is going to work. Salespeople don't trust their own process sometimes, to where they do not consistently do that follow-up, because follow-up is part of the sales process.
Boom.
Right? We always want that low-hanging fruit, that easy lay down, that easy to get business, the one that's knocking at the door, right? But we are seed sowers, so we have to plant the seeds. It doesn't matter what the weather looks like. We have to understand when it's the right time to sow seeds, when it's the right time to continue to water them, and when it's the right time to reap that harvest and to pull it in.
Boom.
And you have been doing that. You salespeople that are out there are doing that. And Russ says something that's so important. And it is something that gets jacked up in our head. We get in our own mind of stopping us ourselves from succeeding just because we're afraid of another no. Salespeople, forget that.
Dude.
Wipe that out of there.
Yes.
You're looking for the no to get out of your way.
For one, real quick, not to cut you off, you're not a salesman until you hear a no. Because all you're doing at that point is just presenting stuff. You don't start selling until you get an objection. That is when you become a salesman. So if you want to be a salesman, learn to accept and embrace that no. Excited about that no, because then you get to do your job. So anyway, keep going.
But I mean, really, just inside of the understanding of a relationship building model, right? Where you're not just doing transactions. You're not just selling products. You don't just have a product inside of a store for them to sell, right? You are legitimately concerned of the person selling it and of the person purchasing it. You want to make sure the experience is beneficial on all angles of your product. You don't want anybody feeling like they got the short end of the stick. And the word value that you're plugging in there is so key, but it's making sure that there's a certainty about it within yourself, knowing that you have value. Your wife telling you get out there, or, hey, are you going to sell something today? Right? She understands that you have value and that somebody else has value. And she is certain that if somebody hears about your value, a purchase is going to be made. You're going to sell something, and success for the man household today, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and absolutely, so this is where the mind shift in the car business needs to come from, in my opinion. So right now we're transactional based, right? Bang, hammer. I need to get sell. But if we backed up and actually listened to what customers want as a salesperson, whether it's in a dealership or as a vendor or whatever, if we stopped and listened to what they really wanted to have a conversation about, it might be something completely different, right? Mm-hmm. And so instead of being so 30-day hero to zero, think about the person that you're in front of and concentrate on the person that you're in front of, not the one that's to the side, not the car deal lose working, right? Mm-hmm. Be with the one that is in front of you right then, and be present with them, right? If you'll do that, everything else will work out just fine, right? Man, if you'll concentrate on what's in front of you and what the task at hand is in front of you right now, as a salesperson, you'll have success, and you will never ever have to worry about a paycheck. You'll never ever have to worry about what you ended up at the end of the month, because you know that you did the best you could, but you did it in a centered place that everyone else understands that I have value. I'm going to present my product. That product has value, and at the end of the day, if you would like to buy it, then great. If you don't want to buy it, then that's okay too. If it didn't fit, be self-reflective? Was it me? Mm-hmm. Did I say or do something wrong? Did I try to put you in a $40,000 expedition when you should have been in a $12,000 Kia? You have to really be self-reflective of that and understand at the end of the day that if you are there to listen and take care of the people you are trying to help, everything else will work out just fine.
That's it, man. And it's we have this thing we call you're coaching people into purchasing cars, and that's the thing. Like, we do this every single day. We're professionals at this. We do it hundreds of times a year, thousands in some cases, right? And when you do that and you're at a high level like that, when people come to you, you're the expert. It's like when we go to the doctor. Do you question when the doctor tells you this? You need to do this or that? You don't really question it. You're like, okay, you're right, because you're smart. And
Yeah, but WebMD said.
Yeah, I think, well, maybe in today's world, we might be WebMD. No, sir, this is what it says on the internet. Right?
Yeah, Google Doc is very smart.
Yes.
Yeah. It is. It's very, it is. I use it all the time. But the but the same time, but that's the thing. Like we go in when we get an opinion from a doctor, we take that opinion and we take it as like that's real. Right. So when it comes to buying cars, folks, all you out there, people who are not in the car business, but you're looking to purchase cars, we're professionals. When you come in, you ask us for our opinion, we're going to do our best to provide. Well, there's a problem. And that's where the two sides of the coin comes into effect. For the longest time, we didn't have the interest of the customer involved there. We were just like, how can we bang this dude head up against the wall and make as much profit as possible? Profit is not a bad word, but when you're doing it and you're manipulating people to do things that they don't want to do and you can do what they want to do, but you're trying to make them do something else. That's kind of messed up. That's not really the right way. That's not human. That's not human interaction, right? Now, there's a difference between being a solutionary too. Now, there's times people are going to come in, they want that truck, but they can't buy it. Now, at that point, you have to educate. You have to coach them again. Give them professional advice. Explain, listen, you can't buy a truck, but I can help you be able to buy a truck, but you have to crawl before you walk. It's called buying a car and showing that you can make payments on something that's affordable first. Once you do that, then you're going to be able to have the buying power, the ability, and the credit that a bank could look at and say, hey, there's no risk here. This person can pay and will pay. But you can't do that until you crawl a little bit. So sometimes you have to do that. But for the most part, you're still helping them get to their vision, make their dreams come true. It just may not be exactly right now, but it's still a path to purchase. It's a path to how you get to what you want. You paint the picture and you make the dream happen. And that's something that solutionaries like Russ do, Lou and I, and everybody that's in our network, we all do that. We're all trying to make sure that our clients understand you're not just forcing them into a vehicle. And like you said, if everything I say, if I can't deliver what I promise and everything that you want, and at the end of all this, if this is not what you want to do, we're going to shake hands and leave as friends. That easy. It's no pressure. I just want to show you my best thing that I can do for you. And if you don't like it, you need to go shop it. But you're going to find out after you shop that I'm the only place who did it, because most dealers don't do that kind of stuff because they're all trying to push you into stuff. And number two, we're the best deal in town. So don't let your self-pride come in the way when you go shop me, that you don't come back to me because you know I was the best deal and I was the only one who was honest with you. I want to help you, whether it's today or if it's a week from now. Please, and 99% of the time they shake your hand, they do the business with you because you were honest with them, you were straightforward, you showed them how to save time, money, and you gave them something that they know is going to help them get to where they want to be. For one, it's a reliable piece of transportation that can help them rebuild credit, or it's affordable in their budget, whichever way it works, right?
Yeah. And it really works in the same way in the vendor space, for me and for you in the dealership world, is continuing to build those relationships, because sooner or later, a dealer's going to come around and say, what was that guy's name that did that one thing? Right. And then they're going to remember because you're still standing there, right? You followed up with them. You understood that they don't need your product today, but that they might need something else, and continue to be consistent with them. If you can be consistent with people in your messaging and your process and the things that you do for them, that's really when true sales success comes, is when you can be consistent with your word. You do what you say you're going to do, which can be hard sometimes, right? You get busy, you forget, oh my God. Because I did that with a guy that I have a tremendous amount of respect with. His name is Alex Tillman. And I missed it. I missed the phone call, and I've regretted it ever since. That was about probably close to a year now, and I've regretted it ever since, because I wasn't focused on what I should have been focused on, and I didn't have a clear process in what I was doing to get to that conversation. So
I love how you recognize that, though. Yeah, so you can at least point that out, and that's one of those things, But forgive, brother. Focus and fly, because you know what, you're gonna go great places, and everything's gonna be okay. We all make mistakes, man, but you learn from that mistake, and that's what I love about what Russ is talking about here, folks. It's okay to make mistakes. Matter of fact, make tons of them. But if you don't learn from them and you don't adjust, the next time it's going to happen again. So don't let it happen again. Learn from that. Let it burn inside you, like, that stung, and it still stings with him. He knows, he's like, man, I wish I made that phone call. But at the same time, he learned from that, and he won't make that mistake again. He's going to make sure he writes down his appointments, probably put a reminder on his phone, do everything he needs to do to make sure that, oh crap, there we go, we're good. I'm guilty of that same thing, man. I've done that before too, but I've also, like you said, I've made new processes. I found a new way to make sure that does not happen again. I write it down in my journal. I put a reminder on my phone, and I also put it in my planner. So I'm like, I have it in 3 different places. I'll never forget any meeting I have. And I almost do that every single time. I'm like, bloop, 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 bloop. I put it everywhere. And then I announce it. It's like, that's accountability in a way without having other people holding you accountable. Right. And we can be self-accountable for a lot of stuff, but there's other things like, that working that extra hour and doing all these things where you need other people like your wife. Hey, are you going to go out and sell something today? Are you going to do this? Are you done? Hey, you need to quit work and get off the phone. It's time to eat dinner. Right. And sometimes we need that too. Sometimes we burn both ends of the candle ourselves and we don't realize that. And our wives will remind us though, hey, you're burning both ends of the candle. I would love for you to burn the candle with me one time. Right. So I get that. And I love it.
Burn, baby, burn.
Burn, baby, burn.
But so tying in a couple things and connecting from the professionalism of the doctor's office to the professionalism of a salesperson, and the importance of all of that tying together with the proper follow-up process. When the doctor is setting the appointment for follow-up, it's not just because it's part of their business model. It is, don't get it twisted, it is part of their business model to make sure that they keep having people visit them, which is the same thing for anybody else selling any other service. You have to keep a consistent flow of follow-up with your people. But when a doctor sets that appointment a week out, 2 weeks out, after you've had a surgery or after you've had something major happen inside of your body, right? It's important that they have that appointment with you and that you keep that. And from their side of it, they're trying to make sure that what they've implemented or what they've done for you takes root. It works for you. It has value. You're getting healthier, right? They're not just following up with you because it's part of the model. They're following up with you because it's part of your overall health.
Yes.
It's the same thing inside of sales. If you believe that your product has value, like Russ is saying, you're following up with them because these people need a solution and you're helping to move the needle in the direction that gets them the optimum results for that solution that they're seeking. If there's challenges that they're facing, that's fine. Us as problem solvers, business owners, or people that have products to sell, that's why we have jobs, right? The exchange of currency is only happening because we have a solution to that problem. And we want to connect that. But it's so important that follow-up happens from a place of actual understanding that you're really helping somebody. And that's impossible to have a true belief of if at heart, you're not really wanting to help somebody. You're just trying to make a dollar. And that shift in sales is starting to happen. Those people are getting exposed. The one thing that I do enjoy about the season that everything grows is sometimes you start to notice, wait a minute, there's a weed growing right there next to this berry tree or this vine, right? That looks like the same thing for a little while until fruit starts to show up. Once those berries start to show themselves, I can easily tell, hey, that thing right there that looks like it is a poser. That's a weed. And that's sucking away the power from this thing to grow.
Oh man, I remember that post you did last year with that. Yeah. That just brought back some memories, man. Man, this has been a crazy year.
Yeah,
anyway,
this is what happens. And people like Russ that are true people that really care about bringing
not a poser.
They'll bring that solution and be humble. And sometimes because they're not aggressive salespeople, they won't do the follow-up knowing that they have the superior way of helping that customer. You know what I mean? And this is something that I want to deter salespeople from. Don't be afraid. I love what Russ said. Don't psych yourself out.
Yeah, don't. And then the next piece of that is there's hunter gatherer to follow up on the weed and the vine. Hunters don't have the ability to follow up and create relationships, right? They're out to kill it. But a gatherer can still be a hunter, right? They planted the seed. And there's no way I could ever do the analogies that Lou and Fred do, but I mean, it's amazing that you just follow along. Like, wow, that's seed and a weed and the flower and the fruit. You're just totally following along the whole time. But in reality, once you've sold something, that's when the relationship begins. That's when true follow-up begins, right? Because now you want to sell them their second car, you want to sell them their third car, you want them to get to you want them in your service drive, right? You want them to continue to buy cars and continue to use the service drive. You don't want them going to the other independent vendors for service. You want them in that drive. And so if you continue to follow up with people, so this is a real challenge for me in the beginning of my car career, was that because I was really a hunter. I mean, you bought the car ASC, buddy, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, as the more I went along and the more I followed up with people 3 months out, 6 months out, I used to hand write literally thousands of Christmas cards every year. I would put a specific note in every single card. It would take me 3 weeks. I'd start in October and starting to fill them out for customers that I'd had for years. I'd sold 3, 4, 5 cars to. And that is the piece that continues to come back because you want them to go, that's my guy or that's my girl, right? Man. Right. If you don't follow up, you will never be the guy or the girl.
That's right. I mean, when we got married and we said all these vows and we made all this commitment, we weren't done, right? There's a consistent follow-up every single day. One I love you has another I love you coming behind it, right? And many other shows of gratitude for the value that you have in that relationship, right? It's not necessarily because it's duty filled, right? It's because it's what you get to do in your service and in your love and adoration for someone else, right? And I love it because, again, it's relationship over revenue.
Yep.
It's people over processes. And Russ, you're just a great example of that, my man. I love it,
man. And what I love about it is he says that we are good at analogies and all this stuff, but he's talking about hunter and gatherer. You're just as man. Come on, Russ. I love that you threw some love at us, but folks, listen what he just talked about. He really broke it down into something that breaks it down to almost Neanderthal phase, right? There's hunter and gatherer. It's basic lifestyle. We are this person or this person. You go out there and you can change and you could be either one, right? And if you're a gatherer, you actually could be a hunter, which is better, right? You can get best of both worlds. So he broke it down so smooth. Russ, come on, you need to give yourself some more credit, my man. You really do. You could break it down to those analogies. And we're sitting here going, I've never heard it that way. I'm really like, hunter-gatherer. I'm going to steal that. You guys are going to probably hear me say that a few times on the show coming up. I appreciate you for sharing that, Russ, man. That is really on point. Exactly what he said there is exactly the mentality. It's great. And there's a lot of car guys out there that are hunters, man. I see them. They're hammers, bam, bam, bam. But they don't care about follow-up. They don't care about, like you said, gathering all these customers that they can have for the future. Every up that comes on is another opportunity. Even if they don't buy that day, they're going to buy eventually. Everybody has a car some way, somehow they're going to get a vehicle. You have to just figure out how are they going to do that with you, right? And if it's not with you, it's okay. Educate them, show them how to do it, what they need to do, give them a path to purchase, and they can go out and do their own thing.
They personalize.
Right. And if they buy somewhere else, don't ever get upset. It is what it is. Even if you do your follow-ups, it's still going to happen. Things happen. It's called convenience. It's called human beings. It's called, they get tired of shopping. It happens. Right. And people, I tell that and I preach that to all my guys. I preach it to customers even. Hey, listen, I get it. You want to leave, but listen, and I know, especially when you have a deal for them, you're like, this is a deal. You're lucky to be approved. This is that, or this is the vehicle, yada, yada, yada. You're going to go shop and you're going to find that no one's going to want to help you. You're going to find that the payments are going to be higher, You're going to want to come back here, then this car's going to be gone. There's so many things that can happen. And it's true, especially in today's market, man. These cars are selling like this, and inventory, especially pre-owned, is very minimal. And so and in new, I shouldn't say especially pre-owned. New cars is extremely bad in inventory, but it's just what goes down, and you have to understand urgency. But anyway,
So go ahead, go rock.
Yeah. So the next key component to that is helping others to be successful somewhere else. So if you've sold cars in the variable side or the front of the house or whatever terminology you want to use for selling cars, you've got to partner with someone in the service drive. Right? Because you've got to have someone out in the service drive that you can count on, that you can literally partner with, to have them to understand that they will take care of your customers. Because that service drive, you get a large dealership, that service drive, that service advisor, assistant service manager, whatever it is in the service department, they see 20, 30, 40 customers a day. Okay. So if you've partnered with someone and really became and understood what a service writer does in the fixed ops side, that's the power in terms of gathering, right? Is now you've not only planted the seed of your original sale, but now the crop is growing because now you got a whole bunch of farmers sharing it. Right?
Come on.
Listen to them, preach it.
Right? Because then you get the fixed ops side. You get the fixed ops side. You get a couple of service advisors that go, yeah, dude, this lady needs a new engine. and she needs some help. Can you help her? Right?
Yeah.
That's when that comes around. So then everybody's sharing in the crop.
That's it. I love it.
That's the big picture.
Man, front and back, and as a salesperson, make sure you take care of your service guys. When you have a customer, you bring it to them. You don't let them go to a Valvoline and get their oil change. You have them come to your store. You give them the whole dealership experience. You do it from the front side to the back. You make it a relationship. A lot of dealerships, but I'm starting to see a different trend, but a lot of dealerships, it's like they butt heads. Back shop, front shop. We're like, we're the reason the store opened. This is the reason why we're kicking butt. No, we're the reason, we are the reason why the store is rocking. We are a team. We are a unit. And, that's why it's so weird for me to be that way. I was in the military. We were every element. We were all important. It doesn't matter what your job was. If you were the cook, if you were the guy mopping the floors, if you were the guy fixing the jets, working on tanks, whatever it was, we were all on one mission. Right. One mission together. It doesn't matter what the job was. We all were important, right? And that's what it is at a dealership, especially now. And I'm loving it. I'm seeing culture changes all over the place, and it needs to be this way, where we all are a team. We all are coming together. Sales meetings, training meetings, to include back shop. Everybody's together. We're all pumping and corralling, and we're making sure that we're all getting energized for the day to be able to service the people that matters, our clients. Because dealerships are nothing without clients. Dealerships are nothing without the customers coming in. We need them people. So we all have to make sure that we take care of those people as a team, that it's not backwards. Like you go to the back shop, they talk bad about the front. You go to the front, they talk bad about the service, right? You have to do it right. And you have to treat everybody right.
For many years of my career, until the last couple of years with the Fixed Ops Mastermind and the Fixed Ops Roundtables, and really getting to understand fixed ops, my relationships with the service department was the service manager looking, going, oh no, here comes Russ. Right? Because in the front, I'm like, dude, where's my BMW? I told you I had an appointment here at 1:00. I need that 06 BMW. Where's the BMW? Right? Like, dude, we had to order a part. The part's not here. I'm like, oh my God, dude, you're killing me. Right? So I really learned to understand to rely on those people and to help and support those folks, because that was my relationship with fixed ops. There were two pillars of the dealership, and they never got close to each other. Right? They're still holding up the same building, but they never got close to each other. Now you can really, if you really work your fixed ops department and really help them to become successful, that's really where
it'll pay you tenfold. It really will. Like you said, really like I always like when I would go to my service department. I learned it young. I go to my service department, get in good with the service writers. You let them know what you're about, and you would hook them up. You'd buy them lunch. You would do this, like on a Friday, order everybody pizza. Whatever you would do, they would remember that. So when they had that, like you said, engine issue, the customer can't. It's going to cost them like $3,000 to replace an engine, or they could trade in their car and get something newer, right? And so their service writers like, listen, this old lady, she really can't afford to buy this engine, but she needs a newer vehicle. Why don't you go talk to her really quick? And they would do that because, for one, they knew that you were a type of person who took care of people, right? And number two, you took care of them, so they want to take care of you. So I used to get a lot of those.
There's a connection piece that we often forget about, and that's a simple word. It's unity.
Oh, right? Unity.
The Bible speaks about how the Father looked down so that when they were unified, they could accomplish anything. He said that himself. Because we are capable of accomplishing anything if we are unified together with the right purpose for good. I believe all things work together for the good. The tragedies and the triumphs. I believe they all work together for the good. And when we have unity, which doesn't mean that we're all the same. I want to be clear about that. Unity does not mean the same. It is impossible to have unity if everything is the same. So when you have unity in your culture, like as far as ethnicities, right? You have unity when everybody's able to come together for one goal, but they all come from different places. You have unity when you have the back end of the store and the front end of the store in cohesion working together. This is why you see the manufacturers. This is why CSI is important. This is why that walk to the service drive is part of your checklist. It must happen. Otherwise, you're probably going to flunk your actual survey, right? These things have to happen. And a lot of smart people inside of, corporate world said, hey, this has to be part of the function. This has to be what happens. What doesn't transition often is that it's not just a task because they thought it was a good idea. It's a good task because it provides the best experience for the customer to see the unity within your organization. that it's not just this one person that I know the name of that wants to help me. It's everybody, from the owner that I may not get the opportunity to meet. I may not get the chance to take a picture with or get a personal letter from, right? All of these people are here serving together, and I feel at home here. There's not a contention. I don't see the eyes rolling because the salesperson isn't getting what they want from the service department, and the salesperson is enrolling the service department under the bus, saying those guys aren't doing nothing, and then and expecting that person to go back to the service drive with a whole bunch of warm and fuzzies, right? That's not going to happen if you're rolling that person under the bus in the service drive. But when we all take ownership of the business together,
yes,
you achieve that success for the customer, and you make them feel happy to be there. And that's something that transitions for their next purchase, their next service, their next everything. But I do want to connect this one little tiny little piece. And this is just a tip for you all that are trying to keep that follow-up with your people. Russ just talked about how for 3 months, he would have to write cards, right? Playing catch up with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. One thing that I enjoyed and encouraging our salespeople to do, and make sure that, and we've spoken with people that do it here on the show, is making, as soon as you're done with that transaction, as soon as you're done making that sale, completing it, you're putting in the new trade in, you're getting the keys ready, you're logging it in, right? Right there, write the card out.
Right. Write the Christmas card that day, even if it's July. Write the Christmas card, put it in a file. This way, when Christmas comes, all you got to do is pull out your whole file and send it. I heard that tip. That was a great tip.
Yes, and it's a way easier thing to do to make that connection.
I wish I would have done that.
You're not months down the road being like, what was going on with the Joneses? What was happening in their life that I can say something personal about, right? Because a lot of the times we'll remember their faces, we'll remember the transaction, remember the car they bought, and then forget what was a key thing in their life. When that follow-up happens, I usually like to go into that subject that I know that they know I could only know if I remembered and intently.
Yeah. Where'd they go? Yeah. No clue. I got nothing.
So right now, I know you can hear us. Yeah, you're going to hear us right now through our camera, so it's probably a little bit of an echo, folks. Sorry about that. What I was saying a moment ago is our Rodecaster, after about an hour, has been kind of overheating, I guess, and it just shuts off. So that's what just happened. We apologize for the error. We're going to get another one. But Rodecaster, if you're watching, shame on you. You should be making a better product than this. This thing's expensive. All right? Make sure it doesn't short out. We've only had it for 4 months. Come on, Rodecaster. Send us a free one. Love you. Hey, but anyway, the Rodecaster is a great machine. I'm just talking smack right now because it does a lot of amazing stuff, but where ours is having a little bit of an issue, so I do apologize. I'm going to try to get it back up and running, but thanks for putting this, because I didn't even catch that we were dead until you started doing this. I was like, oh.
But Russ, on that subject, how do you feel on setting a salesperson up for that type of a follow-up?
So yeah, that's an outstanding idea. I wish I would have had that. It would have saved me a lot of time. But the key part of that, I think that's most important, is because, yeah, I could remember people. I could remember faces. I had a terrible time with names and still do today. But if that emotional connection that created on that day, you're right, you will not remember it in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 3 years later. But if you keep track, if you really put a diligent system, because everybody understands, right? They got people holding them accountable for putting the keys away, tag your keys, put the car on the trade line, right? Everybody's really good at that kind of accountability. But maybe in your ideas, is hold them accountable on the card, hold them accountable on the file. How are you keeping track of this customer? How are you going to ultimately, because you're their person, right? You're their guy or their girl, right? Whether you're at my dealership or you're at some other dealership, you're still their guy or their girl, right? You started that to build that relationship. So if managers will hold salespeople accountable on that follow-up piece, that's a big deal, because that is what separates you. Everybody really talks about branding this and branding that and branding this, No, it's an emotional one-on-one connection. The branding part is a big picture, right? But if you can't connect with people on a one-to-one basis, then you don't sell anything.
Yeah, your brand has to be like you. Like, so you have to deliver what your brand is. So it's like he's saying, yeah, you can have a brand all you want, but if you don't go in there and be personable and you actually show them that this brand is real, this actually it's me, is what you're dealing with, not my brand, because my brand is me. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're 100%. You hit that perfect, Russ, man. I appreciate you for sharing that.
With that other C, that one extra C, right?
C.
The consistency.
Yes,
right?
My favorite word.
Which is a flow that has to be uniform. It has to stay steady.
Word.
And it brings all of these different elements together, unified, and then consistent, right? Literally, he's sipping some of that consistent method or that consistency that we put inside of an organic brew at carguycoffee.com. Right? And you can get you some of the coffee shop. You can get you some swag as well. But seriously, across the board, we want to make sure that even down to our coffee, right, that it represents us properly, right? It is what we're talking about. It's smooth like a car guy and high energy, right? Like the car guy and the subprime hero. But when you meet us, the brand makes sense. It all flows with a consistency.
Yes, it does.
So when they hire you to come inside of your store, everything that you said you are, and that actually transitions into the actual transaction with the customer.
No doubt.
Right?
Woo.
Because it's after that transaction's done that you really show yourself, like you said earlier. It's after that commitment has been made that the true show is on, because now you need the car to perform and stay on the road. You need that to stay right. You need payments to still be made. You need the customer to still be happy. And then you need to make sure that the things are good down the road, because guess what that person's going to do again? Buy another car, and they're going to want to trust somebody. So hopefully they made the right connection with you. They trust you. They have a relationship with you. And when you have a relationship, it kind of doesn't matter what advertisement they see.
Right.
They have a relationship with somebody.
Right.
I got a guy for that.
That's no doubt about it, man. And speaking of relationships, folks, you know, we're getting close to the top of the hour. We're going to have to get off here soon. But what I want to talk about really quick is how we can get a hold of Russ, man. And folks, I hear what he's talking about. You want to learn a little bit more? Here's his mobile phone. It's 801-726. Yeah, I'll do a little follow-up with him. 4701. You got in his email is russ@azuriteconcepts.com, man. This has been an exciting morning. I'm so glad that we got to do this follow-up, Russ, man. It reinvigorated everything that I remembered about hanging out with you and talking. You're an awesome person, man. And what you have is so much knowledge. Folks, he's been breaking down processes for you. He's been breaking down how you should act at a store, how to do follow-up, how to do all these things that are very, very important in order for your business to grow. That is just the icing on the cake. Now, he's got so much more. There's so much content. That cake is a good, dense, just delicious cake. Make sure that you reach out to him and get a piece of that pie, because I promise you, if you do, you're not going to regret it. So make sure you have your glass of milk, or actually, I apologize, no milk. Pie, cake, make sure you have your glass of coffee or cup of coffee full of some of that Car Guy coffee in there. You can't put milk in there, and have yourself some of that cake, man, because I'm going to tell you, it's delicious. But what he's going to do, he's going to make sure that he's going to offer you what he has to offer. He's going to explain what he can do. And at the end of the day, if it's not something for you, he's going to shake hands, and you guys are going to leave as friends, but he's always going to be there for you, because that's what Russ does.
That's right. And I would have to say that Russ, again, being an alumni from the Car Guy Coffee podcast,
that's
right? That would mean that Azurite Concepts, man,
that's right.
Azurite Concepts is 100% Car Guy Coffee approved.
That's right.
Get you some of that. Hey,
it is, man. And we're so excited to have. Oop, wrong one. This one. Yeah. Woo. All right. CGC approved, my man. And we appreciate you, man. We appreciate everything. We appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for getting up early, doing the show with us, man. I'm looking forward to talking some more. And actually, I want to sit down with you and really talk about your new company a little bit more and see what we can do to team up and make something happen with that even more. But what you're doing is amazing, and who you are is even more amazing, man. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you above all. You know, whether you have a business or not, you're a person that I want to be friends with the rest of my life, man.
Yep. Yeah, and we're coming to the Kentucky Derby. My wife actually reminded me the other day. I showed her the post when you were at the track.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, aren't those the guys that are going to take us to the Derby?"
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
We definitely we're excited. We got, you know, we plan on some major stuff. We're going to do some. Yeah. So you got to come. You got to do the Derby. Derby's a lot of fun. It was a unique experience this year, because it was after last year they did it late, then it was wild. But long story. I'll tell you that a little bit more. I got a funny story about one of my salespeople. But anyway, great time. I had a blast, man. I was there for the Oaks the day before the Derby. That's the local Derby is what they call it. All the locals go there at that day. But it's, man, what a good time. Beautiful, beautiful weather those 2 days. And the races were a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, so I'm very excited to be, Car Guy Coffee approved, but I'm more excited to have a relationship with Lou and Fred.
Man, I appreciate
and that's really what makes this business grow. And I have to commend you on a couple of different things. One is you are a champion of everyone. Okay. You guys have proven time after time after time after time that you are a champion of other people. And that's the piece that I most respect about you. You have the consistency, you have the accountability, you have all the other things, but as human beings, you're that first. And I really appreciate that. Absolutely.
That means a lot. I got to cheers to that.
Cheers to that, man.
Cheers to that.
I appreciate
cheers
that.
To you, brother.
That means more to me than you could ever imagine, because that's the type of person that I want to be, and that's who I try my best to be every single day. When I'm talking about working on and getting better and keep growing, that's exactly what I'm keep growing at. And so I'm glad that you feel that way, and that means a lot, because we feel that way about you too, Russ. And we look forward to talking 10 years down the road where we're all at, so it's going to be a lot of fun over the next couple of years. I'm excited about you and your company. I know it's going to do extremely well, because when you have a heart like yours, your company's going to have a heart like that, which people will feel, and dealerships will feel, and individuals at those stores are going to benefit massively from that. It's needed, man. This business needs help. This business needs people that upshift and uplift it. This business needs more light to it, because there's so much darkness that's involved in this business, that people portray us, customers portray us. Vroom portrays us, right? And those things were so. The funny things about those stories in Vroom is that I saw that and I was like, you know what? I've seen it happen, so it's real. So I'm just gonna say it's real. So they're right. They have every right to put that video. People got offended by it. I was like, I get it. We did that. That is our fault. It is our. It is us as car guys and car gals out there to make a difference, to make a change. It takes one person at a time. You as an individual need a change. Don't worry about if Russ is doing better, if Fred's doing better, Lou. Worry about yourself. Make sure you're doing better. And guess what? It will get better, and everyone around you will get better. And it's infectious.
Yep. And then the second piece of that too is your ability to be diverse and inclusive.
Wow.
This is really where the rubber meets the road, is understanding that diversity and culture and inclusion and accepting and wanting and seeking out those people of diversity is the real future, in my opinion. So you're also a champion of that, and I can't say anything more about
I love
that.
you, Russ. I'll just say that, man. I appreciate those kind, beautiful words, man. We as much as we love to champion other people, it does feel good to hear that, but we definitely I don't do it for that, but I definitely enjoy it. I love hearing that, that your opinion of us is that high, and that it means a lot to us. It means a lot to Lou. I know it does. And to our families, even. I know if our wives watch this, they'll hear that and they'll be like, okay, I see you guys are doing it. I see you. Like, right.
I mean, look at the inclusion. Speak of this. So you'll see Russ's pretty face inside of there. I mean, look at that. Look at that group of
people. That was season 1, folks.
That's season uno. Folks, there's so many people that are on there, so many solutionaries. You can meet
all different walks
inside of the Car Guy and Gal Cafe. People like Russ are the reason why we love connecting to people.
Yes,
because they keep it real, and there's a reciprocity. Okay, where it's not just that we're here to gas him up and say how awesome he is, nor is he here to tell us, that we're great at doing what we're doing, because we're really just loving on people. And that's what's made us successful in sales.
Yeah.
Is leading with love.
Wow.
Faith over fear, right? The industry has been led in so much fear. We used to think if you go and you ask about 10 managers, just take them across the board, and you ask them, what are the 3 ways of motivating people? I would tell you that 7 to 8 of those are probably going to come out with the 3 fears: the fear of loss of job, fear of what's the other one? Fear of loss
I
don't
money,
know, because I don't think that way.
Right?
They lead by fear in general. They just lead by fear.
Right.
And because of that has made everybody so anxious and untrusting, unable to let people help you, unable to help others. This is changing. And I love seeing the positivity that's popping up all over the place, literally popping up all over the place. There's a pandemic of positivity that's happening, but there's so many people, and this industry is turning. You're seeing that events are starting to have this be more of their theme, right? More of the positivity, building the customers,
no doubt,
building the relationships, making your dealership be the best place to be, right? It's something that matters, because we're starting to learn that the people that we have matter. Whether you had, I mean, we saw signs all over the place, right? That Black lives matter, blue lives matter, all lives matter. People matter in general. And what we have to remember is that if we have the opportunity to meet with people, what they're concerned about matters.
Right.
And it matters to me.
Right.
Because it matters to you. And that's why I love my God, because he cares about what I care about. What matters to me matters to him. And inside of these relationships, we get to learn that people like Russ that can encourage us and make us feel blessed are helping us to unify, to bringing this industry to a whole new level. And speaking of people that are taking it to a new level, I want to run through just a little bit to highlight some of these incredible people that we're going to get the chance to connect with. It is the return of the mastermind.
What?
Is happening.
I can't wait.
I mean, where's it going to be at?
Myrtle Beach. You know what I'm saying? I'm so excited about this. It's the 4th through the 6th. It's going to be a great time. It's hosted by one of my favorite people, Tracy Myers. I've actually been a fan of his since before I got. I mean, it's been over 10 years. I remember first seeing his store, Frank Myers Auto Centers, out there in North Carolina, and I used to try to get in his store, do advertising, and try to get a staffed event because I loved his marketing. He's always trying to have fun. He's always making fun of himself, but he's bringing processes, and he's also solving transportation problems. He's much like I am. He's much into subprime financing, and he loves helping people, and his processes are amazing. But Tracy is a goofy dude. I love him. He's about wrestling. He loves his family. He loves everything. So make sure you guys come out to that, because this mastermind is not about selling anything to anybody. It's about sharing ideas and leaving with something that you could bring back home to your stores and all those things to make it better. Because there's so many new things going on right now. We need this in the world. We need human contact. So make sure you're out there, man. Myrtle Beach. If there's a place to be, Myrtle Beach. It's the end of the summer. Let's finish the summer out on the beach together, growing and letting our minds go to places that we've never been. So let's do it.
You see that old school green Sharpie?
Yeah.
Well, I got those every day.
Dude, I'm a Sharpie guy. I'm
supplied by Smart Payment Plan.
Yeah. I have green Sharpies, but I tell you, I'm weird. I'm different. A lot of people write with green Sharpies. I write with blue Sharpies.
Yeah, what I always did was first pencil's green, second pencil's blue, third pencil's red. If you don't have a deal past red, you don't have. If you're at red, chance of your deal are pretty slim, right?
Yeah. Your gross is disappearing.
I throw the red right out as soon as we open.
Yeah, the blue just goes right to the red.
Yeah. Get the red out of here. I don't want any.
But yeah, we definitely love it, man. And man, good old school Sharpies. I do love that.
I mean, Sharpies are the way it is. I use highlighters a lot. I have a lot of fun.
I do too.
Matt showed me, when presenting numbers, my very first pencil, and putting a smiley face and a bubble thought. And from there on, I'm always going to get artistic with my. There's an art to the pencil, and I love it. My guys enjoy it too. But Russ, this has been an incredible conversation, brother. There's so many people that have been blessed by this, and that will continue to be blessed by this when it's on the podcast, when watching it on the replay, when seeing some of the clips that are put up about it. Brother, what would you put out there? Just kind of getting ready to close this out before we highlight some of our incredible partners that have brought this episode to everybody. But what would you say right now, going forward, as we get ready to head off into this new time where everybody's getting ready to actually meet people again? You're starting your new business. You're getting the encouragement. You're starting to see the resources come together.
Right.
What would you say now to others in your goodbye? Last bit of encouragement to anybody that's dreaming to do what you're doing, or just dreaming to have success today. What would be the last bit you would pour inside of their cup?
Yeah, so that is a very good question. I think that for me, and I think that for many other people, the fear is really the hardest part to overcome, right? It's not the fear of the task itself and picking up the phone and calling a dealer. It's the fear of the unknown. So I think that fear has to be overcome, and it's done with one step at a time. I know that's such an old school cliched thing, but you literally have to, like for me, it was forming the company, like registering this company with the state of Arizona. working through each one of those individual steps, having conversations with all these different products and vetting all these products, all these pieces and all these things. And pretty soon I learned that each one of them just kind of, the stairway was being built. I have two songs that are super important to me. One is High Hopes by Pink Floyd.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the other one is Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. Okay.
Yeah.
Each one of those creates a step, and overcoming that fear, it's okay. Everyone has the fear. Find people, find myself, find Lou, find Fred, find anybody that's in your network, and confide in them and be empathetic. I think that at the end of the day, you don't have to be a tough person, like have this mental toughness, like, oh, I'm strong, I'm going to kill it. I think if you open up your heart and let other people in, they will support you and bring you forward, and help you to overcome that fear. You will have fear. There's just no way around that piece. That's how the human is built. But if you can bring other people, if you can just open up your heart just a little bit and let other people in and let other people try to help you, whether they do or not, the fact that they tried to help and the fact that you let them in is a key component. So fear is not a bad thing. But if you close yourself off to it, like, I don't like fear, I don't want to be fear, you will never grow.
And if you're closed off to it, you're also closed off to love. And perfect love drives out all fear.
Yes, it does.
That's why you're able to go take on the day when the wife says, hey, you going to sell something today? Car guys and car gals out there, hopefully your spouse said the same to you.
Oh, that's so awesome, man. Way to go full circle with that. That was perfect, Lou. Yeah, so we all have those wives, and we all are so lucky. We're all fortunate. All three of us here, I know for sure, have support systems that will just blow your mind. And I'm so glad that you overcame your fear, Russ. And I'm so excited to see how far that getting over your fear of what you're doing right now is going to take you, man. It's going to take you beyond, and you're doing it for yourself. But ultimately, you're doing it. It's your business, but you're doing it for the business, for other people. And that's what makes you special. You are a solutionary, and I absolutely love you, Lars. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor. Absolutely an honor.
Woo. Man, what a great morning, man. I had so much fun sitting here just jamming out with my dude, Russ Mann. Man. I can't help it but say that word, man.
Seeing this, folks.
Oh, there it is. That logo. Be used to it, because it's growing and it ain't gonna stop. That's what I'm looking for right there.
Speaking of seeing things everywhere, we got this technology that's available with our friends over at Think Ad Group. It's able to reach in and catch up with your customers and put them right there back on your lot, in a auto type of way. That's what I'm talking about. Using technology to reach deep. Think Ad Group. We're so thankful that they brought this message to you, and they've been just a great connector. Look at that big old Think right there, right? They have been a key connector inside of so many of the relationships that we've had built over the last year. And I can't say thank you enough for the people they've connected us to, like Russ.
Justin and Evelyn were a key component to me when I first was starting this journey. I had a conversation with Justin that was unbelievable. And him and Evelyn were very supportive of me and in my efforts to try and grow myself.
Two amazing people, whether they're in a car business or anything in life.
They're just great people.
Yep. Man. Nothing but love for them too, man. They're my folks. I love them.
Yes.
Yep. No doubt.
So thankful for them, and they are connecting the masses. Car guys, car gals, so excited that we are also teamed up with people that are bringing things full circle around. Sometimes it's a little
cloudy.
If getting your next sale is a little bit cloudy from time to time, folks, don't worry, because we have an app for that. And you can reach out to us. Just go ahead and email me at lou@carguycoffee.com
or Fred at carguycoffee.com. Very easy emails. Don't forget it.
Don't you forget it.
It's not coffee car guys. It's car guy coffee.
That's right. So many people still, they're trying to
love it, though.
Caught up inside of our syllables and our sayings, but it's fun to see that. But again, as far as next sale goes, and if you want to make sure that you have an app that takes you to the next level in your sales and is a prospecting masterpiece in your hand, reach out to us and we can get you connected with that. Speaking of having all the right tools,
man, you got to make sure that your tools are ready to go in a toolkit. Woo, man, I love them. Now you're talking about some amazing people, real solutionaries out there doing some stuff. What I love about Dealership Toolkit is that they're bringing in all kinds of different people together. They have this thing that we're going to be doing at Digital Dealer. That's who we're going down there with. And it's called We're Better Together. And it's 100% right. If you don't understand that, you need to understand that when you try to do it yourself, it works. But when you do it with other people, once again, that frequency amplifies and it knocks down mountains. It's so much stronger. It's so much better, especially when you're on the same rocket ship heading to Mars.
Come on.
When you are all on that same ship together, it makes that trip a lot more enjoyable. So make sure you guys reach out to Dealership Toolkit and see what they have that can help you at your dealership.
Yes. Car guys and car gals, so thankful that we've had the opportunity to enjoy this episode with our very first Inside of the Follow-Up series. Fun inside of Follow-Up, folks. Don't be afraid of the follow-up. Have fun with it. Have a good time making connections with your friends. Getting rid of the things that you might think are people that are enemies. They're just people that need a little more love. Give them the love that they need and make sure that you are open to the love that helps you operate without that fear inside of your heart. And you're being like our friend, Russ Mann.
That's right. Folks, I appreciate y'all for being here this morning. There's nothing better than starting your day, especially before the sun rises in Arizona. With a team of people like this, man. I appreciate you, Russ. I appreciate you for being here. I thank you for sharing so much of beautiful knowledge and love to the people out there. Our audience definitely deserved that, and you definitely brought the heat this morning. So, hoorah.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. I'm very grateful.
We are thankful for that. And,
yes,
and I love that. And I love that song.
Yeah.
I will have that jingle every time I hear it. Boom. Oh, car guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Good. There's a lot of people that are taking samples of that sound and putting it in their commercials. And I love that people are just saying, that's a Car Guy Coffee song. Yeah, daggone right it is. But car guys, car gals, thank you so much. We appreciate you today. Have an incredible, incredible day, week, month, and the rest of your life. We appreciate you. We honor you. I am Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
I'm Frelin Arts, the subprime hero.
And we have been brewing solutions with
Russ Mann
on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Thank you so much for brewing with us. See you later, everybody.
Peace.